Okay, hello everyone. I'm back today again with another podcast. I'm super excited to be here today with Wen Xie, and he's here on behalf of his co-authors Ming Chen and Shi, and here talking more about a really exciting paper. This is one based on our TVision Data release from a couple years ago, and the title of the article is called "An Empirical Examination of the Ad Program Congruence Effect on Ad Viewing Behaviors: Evidence from TVision Data." So thank you so much for being here today, Wen.
Thank you so much, Colin. Really appreciate the opportunity to share more about our study, and thank you so much for having me here today.
Oh, of course, yeah. And we're super excited because this is coming out in the September issue of
Mhm.
September 2025 issue of JAR. But of course, it's available online for people to take a look at right now as well. But for many people who may be learning about this for the first time, do you want to give us a quick sort of overview of what exactly you were looking at, what the research questions are that you're taking a look at with this article?
Okay, sure. So first of all, I really appreciate like TVision and GAR you initiated this kind of data release that gives us this chance we can do this amazing study. So in this paper, we mainly focused on asking one core research question, that is whether the advertisement content, the matching between advertisement content and the TV program themes will affect viewers' visual attention, which we called Ad Program Congruence in this study. So we utilized this TVision, a lot of dataset from this TVision insights, like TVision, as you may know, they collaborate with representative households in the United States. They put those cameras and sensors around the TV screens, and those sensors, they can track the TV viewers' activities at home. So from these very second by second data, we know when and how those viewers they pay attention to the program and the embedded advertisements in those programs during their airings, right? So with this lava data, we cleaned millions of observations, and then we find that indeed, when we place advertisements in the TV programs, that they share the similar semantic content, they indeed can increase the viewers' visual attention, and viewers are more likely actually to complete viewing the entire advertisements.
Oh,
And
interesting. Oh.
yeah, that's basically the a core question. And we also did follow-up explorations, including content hit, industry level heterogeneity and the position level heterogeneity, and we find the effect mainly holds for entertainment and financial industries, but not for food and politics industries. Those four industries are made as the like most frequently showed up in TV advertisements. So we focused on those
Oh.
four, and we also find if we split the TV programs into three segments based on the time frame, the first, the middle, the last segment, no matter which segment, the advertisement benefits from the congruence effect. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so there's a lot happening here, which is kind of cool. So let's back up a little bit to the industry one. So which were the two industries where you said it did happen? You did see this congruence effect?
Entertainment and financial industries.
So entertainment and financial. So there is it a big effect if they actually go through and match the ad to the program that they're in. Okay, so
Yeah,
entertainment and financial, and then the other two one more time. Yeah.
the other two are food and beverage industry, and also political industry.
Interesting. So it doesn't matter what program that they run in, the ads are equally effective.
Yeah, for political industry, that's interesting because we see a lot of research on political advertisements specifically, but we do not find a congruence effect here. And even for food and beverage industry, we see a slightly negative effect for the attention duration, but not for
Interesting. Yeah.
attention ratio.
I'm so curious about that. So, like, what do you think is driving that? I know this is like a correlational study of a big data set, but do you have any hypotheses as to why you think food and political ads might not be seeing the congruence effect? Or
So from the literature, we know actually when we set up the hypothesis for this paper, we kind of like set up like competing hypotheses. Because from one research stream, like those priming effected theory, we know like if you place similar content semantically,
Oh, semantically
yeah,
similar, or
semantically, yeah, similar content. So this similarity can like evoke your like memory encoding, right? Like you are easily to process those kind of content after you are exposed to like similar programs. So from those literature, we know people are more likely to process the advertisements deeper, so lead to like deeper facial attention. But for a lot of the research stream, we see the so-called like contrast effect. So if you place advertisements that have different content with the program, this kind of like salience will increase, right? Like
like
ad
stands out? Yeah.
yeah, I'm more likely to stand out from the environment. So from those like two competing hypotheses, they may potentially lead to the industry heterogeneity effect we find. But that's a good like actually that's a good like question for future study about the specific mechanism. Here in our study, we mainly focus on the empirical part. We draw those findings from the literature to set up the hypothesis for that.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's and then you the other one you mentioned as well was the where the actual ads appear. So you said the beginning, middle, and end, and there was no difference on that. Is that correct? Or
Yeah, so for that part, we know for one single TV program, usually they have several ad break or those like called commercial break ad pod, right?
yeah.
So those ad pod usually they're either located in like the beginning or middle or the last segment of the TV programs. And as TV viewers navigate through the TV programs, we know like the program will consume their like cognitive resources, right? So along the
Mm.
way, we try to see whether different positions matter for the congruence effect. So we equally split each program into three segments based on the timing. So we find that actually each part we find a positive effect, congruence effect. But the congruence effect is more pronounced in the beginning or the last segment.
Oh, so there is a primacy or like a recency effect, I guess, at being at the end as well too. So interesting.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think so. Because like in the beginning, you're more like looking forward to the program you want to see, right?
more
So
engaged. Yeah.
yeah, more engaged, and also at the end, usually due to I don't know those like we see literature about those like beginning or peak or like ending those effect, right? So probably that's driving the more pronounced congruence effect there.
Okay, interesting. So putting it all together then for advertisers, I guess they should focus on ads at the beginning and the end of the program, although it's not a huge difference. Is that correct? Or
It's like I think for the beginning and the ending, they definitely benefit more than in the middle part. Yeah, that's from
okay,
our
cool. So
empirical
beginning and
results.
mending is good. And then also, I guess if they're in political ads or food advertising, they shouldn't care as much about congruence, but other industries should focus on it more.
Yeah, correct. Correct.
Okay, cool. Any other takeaways you think that would be important for advertisers to remember from this study?
Mm, I think there's definitely something out there because as far as I know, in 2017, like the IAB Interactive Advertising Bureau, right?
Yeah,
Is that correct? I know
that's
like
correct. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they published those guidelines for eight part bidding, those eight part bidding, they apply those guidelines in especially collected TV advertising and those streaming services. They allow advertisers to do more selections and controls over their like eight part media buying essentially. So we know like if advertisers they can control where and when their advertisements show up in TV programs, they definitely would love to consider this congruence feature. For example, if you are doing food and beverage advertising, you are more likely or ba based on the empirical findings, we suggest those advertisers they consider put placing their advertisements um, Oh, for food and beverage, we do not find the effect there. So definitely that's a lot of good searches for them. But for like entertainment and financial industries, we suggest advertisers they consider those features in their media buying strategies. And on the other hand, for platforms, similarly, right? With the technology like this large language model and AI, they can analyze those content, analyze the semantic similarities between program and advertisements. So those platforms, they can also consider the congruence feature in their ad pod these ad pod like ad placement strategies. So if advertisers they do not select those options, but platforms they can utilize those features for advertisers so that those advertisements they receive better effectiveness on those platforms. Advertisers are more likely to use those platforms as well, right? So that's
Yeah.
like two-side effect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how much easier it is now to go through and code ads for these different characteristics, especially with AI. Yeah,
Yeah, that's correct.
yeah. Interesting. Okay, cool. So I'm curious, like obviously it sounds like this was partly motivated or largely motivated by the data release that TVision kindly provided. Um,
Yeah.
Anything else that specifically got you interested in this particular angle on this data, or made you excited by congruence effects?
That's a larger study actually. I'm not sure if it's okay to share here.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So I did an internship at Snapchat in 2022.
Oh, very
So
cool. Yeah.
yeah, during that internship, I actually proposed the similar idea. I'm not sure if you use Snapchat or Instagram, like the
Yeah,
story.
I'm familiar with both of those. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
So, so we know on Snapchat and Instagram they post the stories, and after you like slide the screen, mobile screen, you will see advertisements. So at that time,
Yeah,
I proposed to study the content congruence. It's similar idea actually, but we know like on TV, the traditional TV advertising. The context are very different. On the social media, it's more like active. You actively engage with the mobile
right.
phone, right? But on TV, it's more like passive consumption
Yeah,
model.
sit back, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, correct. So the context actually differ. Back to the Snapchat study, I find a positive effect on viewing time. So here I try to see if we can have a similar finding on TV context, but surprisingly, that does not hold for every industry as we find, right? Like, yeah,
Right. Yeah.
that kind of the idea, the beginning of the idea. But I think it's the matters is the data. Like, really appreciate you share the data with us so
Data's always good, yeah.
we can
Yeah.
study
I'm
later.
I'm curious, what did you find with the Snapchat study? Were you able to actually run it and see an effect, or did you not find an effect, or what came out of that investigation? Yeah.
For Snapchat, actually, we investigate more industries, including around 16 or 17 industries.
Oh wow, okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, the majority of the industries, we find a positive congruence effect on ad viewing time. So the viewers watch the advertisements longer if those advertisements are placed after stories that share the similar content category. So we still look at the category level. And on the other hand, we also look at the format congruence, but that's another story. So
Yeah.
yeah, basically the congruence effect hold there. That's
Oh, that's very cool. Okay, yeah. So
yeah,
you're
and
just a passionate person about congruence effects.
yeah, kind of. I also do this kind of similar congruence effects in other like context, but yeah, I think
Oh,
that's my pipeline, research pipeline.
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I know there's been a lot of research on it, but I think it's a really important effect, and it's obviously one that advertisers, find very interesting as well too, right? Knowing where they should be placing their ads and if there's an extra boost that comes through that. So,
Yeah, yeah, correct.
yeah. So where to next? Given that you're an expert on congruence, where do you think the next, research avenues are on this topic? Are there either things you might be working on, or other people do you think might want to come in and do some work on this as well too?
I think we suggested like one direction is the emotional congruence, but I already see working paper on this actually.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Like, um, That was what I want to study, but I already still working paper on this from very prestigious universities. They also, I think they also use TVision data. Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay, cool. Yeah.
yeah, that's very interesting. And the other aspects I would imagine is we can, especially with AI, we can analyze more granular congruence, right? Like for example, I I'm always wondering like people when people are looking at the TV programs and then the advertisements show up in the ad pod. So would the timing also matters for the congruence effects? For example, would the content or emotion or other aspects like the audio, the music style, etc., just near the just right before the advertisements. Well, those critical timing in the program matters more than the overall program. Like
Oh, yeah,
just
like the
wondering.
last 10 seconds versus like the
Yeah,
last 20
yeah,
minutes or something. Yeah.
kind of like that. Because people do not really like remember everything, or the things happening in the beginning of the correct program may not really affect the advertisement, or
Yeah.
like less effect than those like last 10 or like last several minutes of the program. So those kind of things,
Yeah.
I think they're interesting. And other studies would be, in this study, we look at the program advertisement congruence, right? But what we can look at in another perspective is within a single ad pod, we have a sequence of advertisements, actually the
Mm,
to back. We can also examine their congruence. I know in the IAB guidelines for
yeah.
the pod bidding, actually there's a guideline that's called competitor separation.
Yeah.
Those practitioners or platforms, they will deliberately avoid advertisements placing within a single pod if they're from the same industries.
That makes sense. You don't get a Coke ad right after a Pepsi ad or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. So I think the general belief is they will dilute the messages effectiveness. But I
Mm,
see few empirical evidence for those. So it's very interesting to study.
yeah. I
Yeah.
haven't seen anything on that either, or even the mood or the emotions within ads, right? I don't have you seen anything on
Yeah.
that? I haven't seen anything on that either. Yeah.
No, especially for emotions, I don't see, and also for
Yeah.
audio. As far as I know, like probably it's because those like methodological challenges to analyze audio data. Like I know for example those
Yeah, it's
music
very short.
channels that yeah, no much studies on that.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, that's a very cool. Like, lots of neat ideas there. I think the ad one is definitely interesting. I haven't seen anything personal on that, but it may be out there. I haven't seen it myself yet. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. And then the other question I always like to ask is any challenges that you ran into while doing this study, and what were they, and how did you overcome them? Yeah.
Oh, definitely. The number one challenge would be like what constitutes the congruence for us. So we look at the for advertisements, we already have the industry level tag from TVision, right? They already share those tags. For the programs, they also have the program JIRA. And for us, there's no direct like one-to-one mapping. For example, entertainment. We have entertainment advertisements. We also have entertainment programs. But for programs, we have much more like genres, like for example, talk show, comedy.
Right.
Yeah, like we would like to regard them as entertainment as well. But we don't
Yeah.
know like whether people really will take them like as content like similarly. So what we did is like two approaches. First, we applied the large language model. We ask, given those advertisement categories and those sets of TV program genres, which like would you like to match them for considering the content? So we use ChatGPT at that time, we get the results. And later on, we also recruited some human subjects from prolific website. Basically we replicate the experiment asking, or we have a like for those advertisement industries. We have those program jurors. How would you like to match them based on the content similarity? So we actually kind of replicate the findings from ChatGPT results, but there's slightly difference. For example, actually human subjects, they believe like, for example, documentary program, they assign documentary program uh to entertainment. I'm not really remember, but in the ChatGPT result, ChatGPT assigned documentary to government. So there's slightly,
Interesting. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they do like show something out there, the difference. But our results hold even after we like excluding those like outliers. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is number one challenge. Others will be about the data cleaning. TVision data is very rich. It's a large data set.
A
And
lot of data. Yeah.
yeah, for our specific research questions, for example, we want to find the program advertisement pair, right? We need to match them based on the timing that will ensure the accuracy. So after the program airings, we want to know which advertisement is in the first place, second place, etc. So we need to ensure the accuracy. That's really a program advertisement pair instead of like, oh, this advertisement is not even embedded in that program, etc. We don't want this happen. So that would be around the data cleaning. We did some like, we spend a lot of time there to figure out like, yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely. It could take a long time to go through and do that. I'm doing that for another project right now. And yeah, it can take a long time, especially with bigger data files, right? So
Yeah, yeah. But the benefit is it's kind of like you spend some time there for once, you will know everything after that. So
it's true, right?
in the
You're very
following
familiar with the data
research,
set. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, in follow-up research, definitely you know what's happening in the data, and that's clean for you for follow-up projects. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And hopefully there'll be some more cool stuff coming out of this, collaboration you've got with the TVision data. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming and talking to us today, Wen. It's been, fantastic learning more about your article. Again, coming out of the September 2025 issue of JER, and also learning just more about your fantastic curiosity with congruence effects. I think it's great to hear more about that and get some cool ideas for what to do next.
Yeah, thank you so much, Colin. I really enjoyed our conversations and looking forward to seeing our paper on published in the print.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah, super excited. So, and again, for anyone interested, it's in the September 2025 issue of JR. It's called An Empirical Examination of the Ad Program Congruence Effect on Ad Viewing Behaviors, Evidence from TVision Data, and it's by Chen, Xie, and Zhu.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Colin.